Good evening. Welcome to New Orleans TV Network System. I'm your founder and co-host, Bob Bockelman. Hopefully you've seen us before and enjoyed some of our work. As you know, we broadcast from New Orleans, Louisiana, and we not simulcast, excuse me, we haven't done that yet. We live streamed throughout the world using several platforms. I have three Facebook platforms, one of which is the New Orleans TV and a network, the symbol you're looking at. The other one is my name, Bob Bockelman, which hopefully you'll see somewhere. And then our third one is called The New Deal, which is named after a former dining club that we occasionally do some stuff with. In addition to the three Facebook channels that we live broadcast, we also permanently put our broadcast on YouTube, and my channel, if you're not familiar with it, is R space REVUE, named after our production company. That's why you see these little ants around. We'll go with that. You don't want to hear all that. But in addition to the YouTube, and it's always there should you not see us live, we also are on LinkedIn Live under our Revue and under Twitter Live under Bockelman Bob. I believe it's reversed. Anyway. So you can catch us live on any of those, but after the fact, those are very short-lived. Most of them just 24 hours. You have to catch us on YouTube much later than anytime you want to see it. As you know, on Thursday nights, we do a co-hosted call-in talk show, whatever you want to call it, with our good friend and associate Derek Ross, a local bankruptcy attorney who also specializes in traffic courts, and he's done some stuff. We suspended our normal tidbits where he gives a portion of his topic and his forte, and I'll give someone my insurance background or something like that. And we really are dedicating our shows to Mardi Gras. We started last week and gave a kind of an overview, talked about some things about Mardi Gras that, maybe you need to know, especially if you happen to be outside of our area and coming to visit us. First thing I also want to mention is that we definitely want you to call in or comment. You can comment by using any of the platforms you're watching us on and do your regular commenting, whether using a phone or a computer, and we will see it and address it as best possible. Or you can do what we're dying for you to do. I don't use the word dying, but really, and that's to call our number. It's a local 504-383-3654. Most people have unlimited phone now, so hopefully that won't be a problem. 504-383-3654, and I'll try and remember to say it oftentimes during the broadcast. So give us a call, especially if we've been trying to promote it to the folks who are also out of town, who are going to be here. If you have any who know nothing about it or are looking for some information, anything that we can share, if we know the answers, we'll certainly give it here. We'll look it up for you and get back to you either through text or some other way. In addition to this show, which is Thursday nights, we will continue the Mardi Gras series on the Thursday evening shows at 7 o'clock Central Time until Mardi Gras. I think the last one is the Thursday before Mardi Gras weekend, before Fat Tuesday. But we're also doing a morning show, which eventually will become a regular talk show where I'm by myself doing it, called Rant Revue, which is our parent name, even though this is Rights Review. And we were going to do one tomorrow, but unfortunately I forgot. Our Mardi Gras ball season starts, so we are fortunate enough to be going to the Ball of King Arthur, which we'll talk a lot about next week. We'll specialize on that ball and that crew. So we'll be in a hotel for 2 nights, checking in tomorrow and attending the ball Saturday night. If I can I can't do full broadcasting like this, I don't believe, but we'll try and see what I can do, because maybe you'll want to see a little bit about the ball, even though it'll be very noisy and might not be something you want to see. But anyway, we're just should be ready now to go. And no, we got a little bit more before the there we go. So there you see this ugly mug. Let me do one thing so I can get the comments ready. Yeah, the comments are ready. So anything you want to tell us, please comment. Or, as I said, please give us a call, 504-383-3654. Unfortunately, you're going to have to bear with me as in the morning show by myself for most, if not all, of the show. Our good friend and co-host Derek Russ is in a meeting, and you know how attorneys and stuff is on. He's hoping if he can finish at any time before our closing hour, 8 o'clock, he'll be jumping on and joining us for a discussion and hopefully participation. Of course, that's what we'd love him to do, telling us stories about his Mardi Gras experience, etc. If you want to call, like I say, and tell us anything about your Mardi Gras experience or what you want to know about Mardi Gras or all the ancillaries, please just give us a call, 504-383-3654, or comment on one of the platforms on which you're watching. Now, you can't see this, and I didn't get it printed up, but I printed a list of parades, and including that, not every parade, okay, but it's pretty inclusive, especially for Orleans. There's some for Jefferson Parish, which is but it's none for the North Shore and none for the I think one or two is West Bank, but nothing from St. Bernard or the North Shore. And in that, we include the name of the parade, we include the date and what day of the week it is, the time. And we also, the most important thing to me, which we'll be talking about some of these tonight, is what we call signature throws. If you saw our daytime show, you know what we're talking about. Years ago, anything that had the name of the theme on it was a signature throw. But nowadays, in the last, since 15 years perhaps, crews have come to specialize where they assign their members to take a particular object that is symbolic of their crew and to actually customize it and then throw it or hand it off during the parade route. They're allowed to throw 24 of these. So these objects have become extremely collectible. And we're going to go over some of these tonight. And what we're actually going to do is take at least one, if not two, of the really big parades that really started this custom throws and show you, all right, pics of some of the ones that I've been fortunate enough, or we've been fortunate enough to collect. So it's our private collection from catching, being at the parades, and you'll see, hopefully these will be motivation for you to go to not only these parades, but all of the ones that we have the custom throws. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to tell you which parades that we know the custom throws. And I say, if you want this list that I prepared, you can email it to me at bob@rrevue.net, a request, or ask on any of the platforms. The only situation is we can send it to you anyway. However, it is an Excel spreadsheet, even though it's done in list form. So to open it, you would have to have access to Excel, Excel. Hopefully, not everyone uses that. It's kind of more business-like, but we have that, and it allows us to grow and sort it and stuff like that. So if you want one of these, don't hesitate to ask on any of the platforms or email, as long as you know you can have someone or somehow get it to be opened up for you. But we're going to talk about the first one I have of a signature throw is called Poseidon, and it's one of the earliest parades in Orleans. It's on Saturday, February the 12th at 6 p.m. I don't have where it's, and excuse me, that's on St. Tammany, and that's not a throw. I apologize. That's my bad eyes, and I usually have assistants here. So let's go back. At the end, we'll go over maybe some of the list in the parade so you'll know the early ones before we touch on. The first one that we actually have is called Cleopatra. Everybody probably knows who Cleopatra is, the famous Egyptian monarch who lured away Julius Caesar and then eventually Mark Antony. That's on Friday, February the 18th at 6:30 p.m., and that's in Orleans. As we told you again in the morning show, if you're not familiar, Orleans Parish, or county, as some of you might refer to it, has all except for one or two parades, has a standard route, meaning it's going the same way. And these are starting on Napoleon Avenue, okay, which is 44 blocks from downtown Canal Street and 44 blocks to what we call the river bend, where the St. Charles Avenue turns because of the bend of the river. So Britannia is 1 block off of St. Charles. So they're going to line up on Napoleon at Britannia. The parades will proceed for that 1 block on Napoleon and make a right turn and go down the world famous St. Charles Avenue. These is the street with what we call the neutral ground, or the median in between, contains our National Historic streetcar that is listed in fact, they can't change it. They can't even add air conditioning because it's so old. It's maintained, but it can't be upgraded. And so it runs all along there till it gets down to 44 blocks that we call the Central Business District. Then we'll make a turn and go to St. Charles Avenue, and eventually will disband a little closer to the river. So again, if you need the precise details, you can get these. There's a thing called Parade Tracker. These are apps from our local television channels: WWL-TV, which is the CBS affiliate, WDSU, which is the NBC affiliate. So these things will tell you when a parade is going, and there's a lot of periodicals. Most famous, Arthur Hardy's book, now you have to pay for it, it's not free, is a comprehensive book, comes out annually, of all the parades, their routes, their history, etc. So it's a great souvenir, even though it's a few dollars. Okay. Now, back to what we're talking about. So Cleopatra on the Friday, what they will actually do is they're doing wine glasses. Okay. Now, I imagine, I haven't had one, so I don't know, that is probably made out of plastic, not real glass, although it could be. Because of the safety factor and the cost, I would assume these are plastic wine stems, probably the tulips. I haven't even seen a tulip shape for champagne, something like that, as opposed to a red wine glass. And what happens is the rider, I could say, will take that and decorate. They'll spray paint it, perhaps. They'll put glitter on it. They'll put sequin, all kind of accessories, and they can fill it and make it into anything. Fill the insides up, feathers, all kinds of stuff. So it really gets quite ornate depending on the individual rider. And remember, you can get 24 of these are thrown during the parades. And most of the parades, I'm going to give you an average, is about 3 hours long, okay? Depending on how many floats. But this is not the largest parade, but still it'll be somewhere between 2 to 3 hours long. So depending on where you watch it, again, you'll have 24 chances for hopefully X number of members per float. Now, again, they don't mandate the riders to do these, but everyone gets in the spirit and usually does at least at minimum. Some of them do a lot more and just hand them out after to friends, family, or anyone they know. Okay, in addition to Cleopatra, during that same period, on the same date, 2/18, that Friday, is Allah, A-L-L-A. Now that used to be somewhere else and moved after Katrina, and it is in Orleans, and it's at 7 p.m., so it follows that other one, and it gives a lamp. It really basically does an Aladdin lamp, because Allah, everyone knows the story of Aladdin and stuff, so they take a plastic, usually it's a gold plastic lamp shade, it looks like a gravy boat with a top, and they will decorate it profusely. Almost always on all these signature throws, somewhere will be the name of the crew and or at least a year, if not the actual date of the parading. Someone will actually put the theme of the whole parade. But anyway, these are sought after items, so there will be Aladdin's lamp. Now, in that same day, if you did not go to Orleans, wanted to go to Metairie, there's a parade called Excalibur. In fact, our friend Lynn, who does a lot of the groundwork for us, will actually be riding in Excalibur. And that's, again, on Friday, February the 18th, and that's at 6:30 p.m. in Jefferson Parish. And for those who don't know what that is, just like Canal Street is our main thoroughfare for years, that's where all the business and the retail was, and it still is our central hub. Veterans Memorial Boulevard, is a very long, 4-lane or 6-lane highway that with either a neutral ground or a canal in between it. And down one of those sides, it will run a good portion, X number of miles. So if you don't want to go to all the fanfare or the trouble in New Orleans, there's a lot easier parking, especially in certain places, for the Jefferson parades. Again, next week, when we know a little bit more when Len's float will be on, maybe we'll be able to give you that number and name if he's kind enough. So that way you can ask for him, and hopefully now what they're going to throw, their signature is a shield. Obviously, Excalibur is the sword, and so their shields usually have a logo with the Excalibur, the sword, on it. So they actually are using cutouts. I don't know the actual size of it, but I think they're cardboard. And they're about 6 inches tall, maybe, and maybe 4 inches wide, but in a shape of a shield. And he's in there decorating right now. So that'll be, again, that same night. So you have two chances in New Orleans, Cleopatra and Allah, and then you have Excalibur and Jefferson. So on that day, that's the last day of that Friday that has signature throws to our knowledge. Now, as we pick up more, we'll be updating this. I don't want to spend too much time on here. Let's go a little bit further. Now, the next day, Saturday, which is really the first week, these are the first weekend parades of Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is March 1st, which is Tuesday, and then the weekend before it is the huge parades, a huge volume of parades, huge size. This is the weekend before. So the actual parades start, even though there's some others that start a little before that or somewhere in other locations, but the predominant New Orleans locations start 2 weekends before Fat Tuesday, all right? So now I'm looking on these for the Saturday, the day after the day, February 19th, and I only have 2 of them labeled with signature throws. The first one is a very famous one called Ferret, F-R-E-R-E-T. That is actually a street uptown, which for many years ago, a lot of these organizations were actually, many years ago when they were formed, were neighborhood crews, okay, where they would go. And this one actually, for the most part, ran the entire or a good portion of the length of Ferret Street and had a lot of the neighbors and stuff. So it was great. It had developed a lot of camaraderie. But since Katrina, that devastating hurricane, as I mentioned, the city has had to consolidate the routes for patrolmen and make sure we have a security, as well as consolidating times and work. So even though Ferret Crew is still maintains its name, it doesn't go on Ferret per se. So be anxious to see. Now that's on Saturday, and it's February the 19th at 3 p.m. So that's a day parade, and they actually throw masks or have signature masks. I don't remember what it looks like, and there'll be several that do different types of masks, but some type of Mardi Gras mask. And now, the next day, and this is very important because I have friends on it, on that same Saturday, it's called Sparta-Phoenix, and we'll tell you that in a minute. That is on the 19th, and that's at 5:30 p.m. in Orleans. Sparta is an old line, traditional, male-only parade. Years ago, Mardi Gras was basically a man's function with regard to these organizations, both to be members or the ladies were allowed to attend the special social events, but there were really none as full members and certainly no riders. And of course, all that changed with contemporary thinking and stuff like that. Now, even though Sparta is a mainstay male-only organization, they have joined together with a female organization called Phoenix. And we'll talk more about this a little later, not right this, how Phoenix came about, which is only a 2-year-old organization, okay? And Phoenix is really the female compartment of this parade. So they're actually together. There will be a king of Sparta and his queen. Phoenix will have a female Phoenix, they actually called it. And of course, for those that don't know what Phoenix is, it's a very famous old poem about the bird. It's a bird, almost like a hawk or an eagle, that arose from the ashes, the burnt ashes. So it's always a symbol for rebirth, and people always use it where if you've had a failure, you can rise like the phoenix from the ashes, and that's what they do. And they actually have 2 types of phoenix. The first, it's phoenix of fire and phoenix of ice. last year's, and our good friend was the Phoenix one of fire. Uh, this year is the Phoenix of ice. So it's because the colors are different, and it's cute. It's very well done. And anyway, both of these parades are actually right on top of each other. There's no space in between them other than the normal space where there's a band or something, or just typical space between the floats. So it'll be one continuous parade. Uh, Now, Sparta, to our knowledge, is not throwing a custom or signature throw. They throw a lot of stuff with their emblems and all, but nothing where the members will actually customize the 24. Phoenix, though, does. They are creating, the ladies of SoTown, they're creating, for those who are familiar with dining service, chargers, Chargers, nothing to do with the football team. These are oversized plates or platters, usually decorative, which a normal dining plate would sit on top of, especially if you're doing a formal or a dress-up dinner. So they've taken the charger, larger plate, and decorated them in all kinds of ways. And once again, they will be handing these things off on that parade, and that's on Saturday. So on Saturday, you have many more parades than that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like 7 parades that day and evening. But the 2 that we know have signature throws are the ones we just mentioned: Ferret in the day and Sparta in the evening. Now, let's see, where are we? Because I want to go a little further so we can get into the next subject. Okay, yeah, we got plenty of time. So we're going to go. All right, so remember, this is the first weekend, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, what about Sunday? Sunday has 3 parades. Well, it has 4, but 3 of which actually has signature throws, okay? First one is a relatively new one. Again, an all-ladies parade called Femme Fatale. Everybody knows Femme Fatale. Famous French. Everyone speaks French, especially here. Anyway, that is on Sunday, February the 20th. And it's at 11 o'clock in the morning. So you're going to go right from church. And it's in Orleans, so it'll be following that route we talked about, lining up on Napoleon and Britannia, going to St. Charles, and going downtown. And it actually is giving, this is really pretty. Years ago, and I don't know how many of the today's ladies do this, but it was for all my mother's lifetime and sisters, all the way I know the 70s or 80s or maybe longer. It was very famous for females when they would go out, that they would carry in their purse a thing called a compact. And what that was is usually a circular, it could be other shapes, but circular, maybe metal or other materials that actually open it. Almost look like a watch fob, if you know what that is for a gentleman. But open up, and it would have a mirror on one side, and then usually the compact or the makeup, which is compacted and hard in there with a brush, and that way they could touch up when they would go to the ladies' room and or before and after. So they're taking those compacts and decorating them with jewels, all kinds of stuff. Really fabulous. Great, great collectibles. All right, so that's Sunday at 11 o'clock in Orleans. The next one is Carrollton, and that's also in Orleans, and it's 1 hour later, 12 o'clock. And they are actually, this is really fun. For those who know about Cajuns, or what we call Cajuns, a lot of the Cajun thing is hunting and fishing, and of course New Orleans and Louisiana is such a seafood called the sportsman's paradise. And in the southern part of the state, the parish that we call St. Bernard and stuff like that, they're right on the Gulf of Mexico, etc. And so they have boats of fishermen, shrimpers, that go out, and oystermen, and they catch all these type of seafoods and bring them into harbor and then sell them locally as well as to the restaurants. Now, I notice we have someone who just sent us a note. Love Face XY Gary here, stream recommend. I'm not sure. Are they recommending our stream, or do they have one themselves? Love Face XYZ girls. I'm going to show this for the people before we continue. Let's see. Bob can get it going, man. But it's a recommendation. Okay. Now, we're going to be talking about our live streaming. So if they're doing live stream, we'd like to know about it. Maybe we can coordinate the effort. So have someone contact me after the show, and we'll talk more about what we're going to do live stream near the end of this particular show. Let's go ahead and finish a little bit of these so we can actually get to the visuals, which I know you'll want to see. What do some of these signature throws look like? Okay. Don't forget, please give us a call, 504-383-3654 on the screen, or as Lovelace XYZ Girls did, they gave us a comment on two of the uh, platforms. All right. So, where were we now? All right. So we said that, let's see, my old memory. Oh, we did the compacts. Oh, we were talking about the Carrollton Parade. So they honor these seafood men because what these people have to do is wear boots, but not the typical boots that we fashion. These are high-rise boots that will go above the calf, above the maybe mid calf, but they're made out of vinyl or rubber. And originally they only came in white, but now they're kind of a fashion item, so people will have them in different. But the thing is, this group is actually taking that basic one, or maybe a smaller version. It's not a full-size shoe for an adult to wear. It's probably a child size or a miniature replica of such. And they're decorating them on the outside and the inside totally. And remember, each one is going to be unique. You might have 5 or 6 people on the float. There might be more than that that are giving these things out, but they won't look alike. They'll be different because each one creates his or her own signature item and throw representing this organization. Now, the last one that has throws on that day, this is one we want to talk a lot about, is King Arthur. Again, we had Excalibur, which was, again, that type of knight. Well, King Arthur, everyone knows, actually pulled Excalibur, which was the sword that was embedded in a stone, and that's how he became king of the Round Table, because he was the only person that was able to extract it from the stone. So it was excellent. So what King Arthur does, they have their signature churros, so they're going to be a medieval type parade, and their symbol is a shield with the face of King Arthur. And what happens here? They're actually giving out grail. They're calling it grails. People would call it maybe a wine goblet, but it's not like the wine glasses we talked about earlier. It actually looks like a goblet. Now these are made out of plastic. They come in gold, silver or white, but then they're totally decorated. And the reason why I'm emphasizing this is for 2 reasons. One, as I mentioned, our good friend and helper Leonard Lewis is been riding with them several years. He's in his workshop as we speak, creating many of these grails and also the shields of Excalibur for him to throw in these parades. So once again, now next Thursday, we will focus almost exclusively on King Arthur, all about that parade, and also show you maybe some video clips of that parade from the last time we had one 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And then we'll also show you the signature grails that he's done or we've collected over the years from other riders from that parade. So that's, and it's 3 opportunities to get signature throws. And then there's another evening parade after that, Atlas, but we don't have, and that's in Jefferson Parish, but we don't have what they're giving out. We're going to go to 2. No, that's it. So we're not going to say any more on those, even though what we're going to show you involves some of the ones we haven't addressed. So what we did is we covered a list of the parades in Orleans, and a couple of them were in Jefferson, adjacent parish, that parade on the first weekend of Mardi Gras, which we said is February the 18th, 19th, and 20th. Is that right? 18th, 19th, I believe that's correct. And we specifically mentioned the ones that actually were and are distributing signature throws. And these, as I mentioned, are customized items that the organization has chosen to represent their crew, but allows each member to decorate 24 of these for distribution during their Mardi Gras parade. And once again, folks, this usually astounds a lot of folks. Our parades are free. So, well, that's just like Pasadena. Yeah, Pasadena, you sit there in a cute little thing and you clap, and it's very pretty and there's music. Ours, you take home stuff for yourself and or your children or friends, and you get inundated. You don't get one little piece, a bead, or one little item. You'll see, for the most part, you'll be more than satisfied. That's why y'all make sure whenever you go to a parade, to bring some type, whether it's just a plastic bag from a supermarket or a more substantial bag. So you can haul the stuff each time and consolidate it when the end of Mardi Gras is here. Because again, the normal throws will be beads to wear around necklace or wrist. There will be doubloons in some situation. Then there'll be stuffed animals. There'll be all kind of things bearing the logo, but not individually decorated. They'll all look alike. Okay, and those will be distributed en masse to the members. They, of course, they buy these things as part of their membership, and then they throw as many thousands as they want to the group. So that's what's cool about it. They're not going to throw just 100 pieces and be out, especially these parades, as I mentioned, run about 3 hours, some of them longer. So that's good. You're bound to get something or a lot more than something at any of our parades. And even though after it's this is just a trinket, it's plastic. Yes, but it's going to be, for the most part, unusual because then it'll have the memories of being in the parade. And you'll see how many people that have never been, like if you go from somewhere else and go back home, how many people want the things that you might not even think much about. Okay? So just not a caution, but a little tip about that situation. Now, what we're going to do is bring up a couple more points in case you missed the morning show. Please give us a call, 504-383-3654, just to say hello, anything you want, just like our lady, or I say lady, the Love Face Girls put up their comment. You're welcome to comment, but we'd love to hear from you since we have the call-in service. That's something we've been trying to get available for quite some time. Functional, not available. But there's a lot of people, we see questions where people say, well, I want to stay in the quarter, but I want to be on a balcony where the parades pass. Well, that's not going to happen. The French Quarter doesn't have, during the Mardi Gras season, a typical traditional float parade that comes through it because of fire hazards. They stopped it years ago. So even though balconies will be there, they'll be to basically look at the crowd. Now, it's a two-way street where the people on the balcony will be throwing things and the people on the street will be asking for things. So you'll still collect that. And there'll be a lot of other things, a lot more adult entertainment. But to stay in the French Quarter and then to try and go to some of these parades in Orleans, well, I have a car. You might have a car, but it's going to take a long time as opposed to a normal 15 minutes to get this distance to get there because of the tremendous amount of people. Plus, parking is unbelievable. Well, some people say, well, I'm going to just take an Uber or a Lyft. And that's great, except for two precautions. The rates, there's a zone that follows this parade route and multiple blocks around all these routes. And during that zone, the rate is double or triple what the normal rate will be. Plus, there's no guarantee they're going to get you anywhere close to where you want to be on the parade. They're not going to bring you right at where you want to be on the parade because they can't get to it because of the crowds and because the parades pass on the streets and the streets are blocked. Now, we've got someone else who's giving us a nice comment. Let's see what we have here. I should read it first. What did I do here? Let's see. It's from Olga Cook Mathern. Oh, definitely ranked. Thanks for the info on signature throws. Oh, sweet. I'll show it up for everybody else to show. There you go. Thank you, Olga. We appreciate that. We have a little follow-up. Appreciate that so much. Okay. Again, we will expand on this. We will keep this up as we add because there's another one I already know about, and I just can't think which one it is. They just learned. And we'll keep adding these as we develop the interest on the signature throws. Now, unfortunately, because we don't go to all these parades, we can't because of how many we do attend. We can't show you a representative signature throw. Anybody that gives me one, we will certainly include it, and that way we'll have a master collection by parade and by signature throw. Okay, so the next one we actually want to bring up a signature throw so you can see what Bob is talking about, all right? Let's see if we can do this correctly. All right, got to add to the stream, all right? Is that? Okay, let's see if we can do this, all right? Now, what are we looking at? All right, folks, this is one of the parades. This is a parade called Muses. Everyone knows what a muse is. This is traditionally, as I mentioned, it was traditionally a male concept. After a while, we did have an early crew that was female. We had some that was female, not all of them. The longest living and the largest one right now is called Iris, Iris, which is an Egyptian god. I think it's, I've forgotten what it looks like, but it's on with the, and anyway, I don't have to know all that, but and it runs on the Saturday during the day before Mardi Gras. In fact, it passes 1 block from my house. So it's very exciting. And these ladies do stuff, and I believe they show, they throw sunglasses, and this year they're adding more things because they're going to be the most. They're trying to be the most ecological, so a lot of their stuff will be green, not necessarily in color, but in sustainability and all the things we're calling that. Okay, after that, besides Iris, Muses became really the best known and the largest at that time. This is talking about after Katrina. It's a female organization, very popular, very large, and it's on. Let's see, it's a weeknight before. Is it the Wednesday or Thursday? I always get mixed up. Okay, it's Thursday, February the 24th, and it's at 6:30 p.m. in Orleans. Okay, so it's on that Napoleon St. Charles route. Now, they decided to do purses. Okay, so they came out, and you're going to see, like what we're looking at right here is actually one of the purses. This is a decorated, let's see, a close up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, and whoop, did I get it wrong? Is Muse is not the purses, huh? Oh my goodness. No. We don't want to look at Muses. That was my mistake. Muses is actually the shoes, which you were about to say. This is we're talking about Nick's. Nick's is the night before, the Wednesday, and it became one of the largest female crews for multiple years. And unfortunately, there was some falling out, some scandal, and some of the ladies, a good number of the ladies, left those organizations. In fact, formed their own. One of those we just mentioned was Phoenix, when we're talking about the list, and they ride with Sparta on that Saturday of the first week. And we will show those in a little bit after we get through Nick's. Now, Nick's, as I said, decorates purses. That's their low, ladies' purses. So this is one where someone has done, and we just going to go one by. We're going to usually have a close-up. This is the back of the purse. So you see it says Nick's. See, I was trying to tell you, it says the name of the organization, and this one actually has the year. So this one is 2016. So isn't that pretty? And purple was a big color with them, as is with ladies. So 2016. Isn't that beautiful? It's actually a handmade, not a handmade, store-bought or whatever purse. A lot of the ladies will go to the thrift stores, Goodwill and all, and pick up things, and then take those form those as the base to create these wonderful souvenirs. So there's one. Let's take a look at another one. This is a simple one. Again, I guess they call it, I heard the word clutch. I don't know, this is a clutch but anyway, you can see it's not a full big purse, even though it opens like the other one. And there, it's pretty plain. This is early because it's one of the first years that they were actually riding, I believe, 2014. And see, it's simple. It was probably spray painted, or maybe that's glitter. My eyes aren't that good. And of course, then it's got the acrylic paint or whatever you call that paint, putting the name. So and there's a perfect souvenir. Here's another one. Now we're going to see the front and back of this one because they both, again, a simple. Whether I don't know because we don't know. We don't have whether this was blue when they bought it or whether they spray paint or whatever they did to make the blue background. But obviously the braiding all around, that silver braiding, is something they did. And then of course spray painting put the name Nick's again. Now here's the back. So here's one that weren't satisfied. Not super flourish, but just 3 simple pearls. How much more delicate and typical ladylike. So there you get the front and the back when you're holding something. Whether you use these things, I have to tell you, most people who get these, male or female, don't use them. They keep them and set them up in some collector's area and put them on display, etc. But there are functioning purses. Some of these will actually have inside of them chains to actually connect from one end to the other to actually make them be able to put over their shoulder. Not all of them, and some of them do. Now here's a very simple one. Again, back in the early years, 2014, Nick's. Now I don't know what GL might be the initials of the lady who created it. I don't know, but it's a smaller purse, as you see, just like a coin purse. again, brightly colored, and with the Knicks logos and I guess snowflakes and stars. Okay, let's see if we see another one. Again, if you have any questions, call me or text me. Of course, when I have this on there, I'm not seeing the text, but I'll pick them up after we finish this group. But if you want to call me, 504-383-3654 to ask any of these questions or see anything again, we'll be glad to answer whatever we can. All right, let's take a look at another Knicks purse. We got two of this. Isn't it cute? This is a typical handbag. Or again, I use terms I don't even know what they are. Notice it's got NYX up in the right corner. 22. Is that 9? My bad eyes. Looks like 2019. I think. Maybe we'll see more about it. And then of course there's maybe that's that same letter. There's some initials in, maybe that GL. And then Nix again, NYX written in blue, plus the symbols. They're pretty taking, and who knows whether the purse was black or not. And then at the bottom, they've got some decorations, like maybe put some rhinestones or something, I'm not sure. But that's, again, and let's take a look. Here's the other side of it. So they don't just, like I say, most of them, especially like this, decorate both sides. Pretty much it's the same look, but we wanted to show you how nice it was. So again, wonderful items. And this is what we're trying to say. It would be very rare that someone made the same purse more than once. Maybe they did it in a different color if they wanted to keep that simple logo or dates, but it'll definitely be different. So that's what's good about it. It's unique. Now here's another one. This one's very attractive. This one has an unusual, the strap is at the top. It's on a hinge thing. As you see, it's very, to me, kind of Asian. I don't think they actually did this. It's almost embroidery, embellished with Nix at the bottom of the flowers, but maybe they did. I mean, I don't want to discredit anyone because if it was plain, that's phenomenal work that they've done to embroider it, I think, anyway. And here we're going to take a look at the back. Look at the back. So they didn't shortchange the back. It's same kind of combination, but a different, I guess that's poinsettia, maybe I'm just saying poinsettia, but beautiful flower with a central figure and some stems and some other decorations. So that's Nix. Okay, and I think we got a couple more. What better one than this? And when tourists come or even natives buy all these souvenirs at souvenir shops, long as they got the logo of Orleans, New Orleans, and especially Rue d'Orleans. So it's, of course, for those who don't know, Rue is French for street. So that's saying Street of Orleans, and of course Orleans. So that's a great tribute. So even those who collect want to buy the professional stuff, this you won't find is so unique. Again, it's one of these clutches that open up, but you can see that they created, obviously painted the background or whatever, the blue, then created this label and framed it with rhinestones of different colors, and then looks like sequins across the top. And then let's see, do we have a bet? No. Now this one is not the same as the other one. Notice it's a different date. This is 2013. It looks a lot like the one we were bragging on because it is black. It's got the red and it's got, again, some embroidery or painted on flowers, but it is different. So, and I'm almost sure it's a different year. So this is definitely 2013. Now this is lovely. This is almost what I would call a male term, portfolio, because it's larger than the other ones, the small compact, whatever those small ones are called. I've forgotten. It's a large flat. Now it really wouldn't hold a laptop. It might hold a tablet. Okay, if you see a lady is using the technology of a tablet, but look how well it's done. And you're going to see what's interesting is that the back has a different color. So it's got the purple boa feathers, the traditional court jester in our purple, green, and gold hat. You can't beat that. At the clasp or the catch, there's another stone, gold stone. And of course, it's got Nix. And let's see if I can see. Can you? Maybe I'll have better eyes than I can't see if there's a date behind it. But isn't that pretty? Now, look at this. Hold on, folks. Look at the reverse. Now, again, it's not as decorative as the back, but it's done a completely different color. I love the complementing, coordinating green with, again, the beautiful bow on top. So what a nice thing, huh? And like I say, it's functional. I know you could put some things in it. Again, the daily use would kind of probably destroy it. Things would come off, especially like that boa. Now this is a very unusual one for me because it's taken, and I don't know how much work was done on here other than just a painting. Again, they don't have, the organization doesn't mandate how much you have to do of decoration. Now, this one simply has, as you can see, they're taking a leather uh, coin purse. I don't see the zippers are on the outside. TPR, I don't know if that's a designer's name. I'm sure it's not the person who's done the decoration. But notice they have, I believe it's 2017, if my eyes serve me well. And then Nick's at the bottom, and there's something written in the center that, again, I can't make out. But this is very big. Now, this is something you certainly can use every day because it's not as uh, decorated with regard to fragile as some of the other things. So this could be a great little thing. But once again, that's all, it just shows you the level that these, in this situation, ladies go to. Many of them have workshops. They work all year round. Just like we said, our friend Lynn is working on King Arthur and Excalibur as we speak. And he's working in his workshop. He works months before, sometimes if he does for other people, much longer than that. Because he does, just phenomenal detail. And we'll see some of these, like I say, for King Arthur next week. Now, what we're going to do is, let me see if I can get this for us. All right, we're going to stop sharing that. But we are going to share. Now we're going to move and see how we doing for time. Oh, 2:42. Well, I know you'll want to see this other one, even though. So let's go ahead because this is the one I mislabeled, and that was Muses. As we were mentioned, Muse was before Nyx, but Parade's after, and their forte is a shoe. Now, in fact, so much so representative. Their very first float, I think it's their very first, is a huge. See what I call these, like a heeled. High heel shoes. I'm sure there's much better terms than that. But there's a giant, oversized, that rolls high heel shoe uh, that actually carries a celebrity or two who's in the parade as a grand marshal or ambassador, and it's totally covered with LED lights. So, which change in color, the pinks, the whites. So it's a remarkable thing, especially this is a night parade on the Wednesday. I don't forget what date I tell you, but the Wednesday before Mardi Gras, and follows the same route, lines up on Britannia and Napoleon, goes to St. Charles, and goes downtown. Now let's take a look. So this one, look at the elaborate detail on here. First of all, you've got, I don't know if this back pink part is something, I assume they painted that pink as well, and then the gold front with stones, a sequence of stones, and then stuffed, and you can see they have stuff in here. They have, I don't even know all the stuff. But you can see the detail. And again, on the toe, I think we have a second picture. Then we usually try and do a side close-up and then a forward. There you go. That's looking down. That's the same shoe. Notice, look at this, folks. One side is what we saw, the green. The other side is a gold or a beige. So now you've got two tones. Plus, look at the magnificent. There is a traditional-looking Mardi Gras mask. A little more ladies than men, but it can be used by anybody, adorning it. There's something at the toe which looks like, what is that? Is it some word? Muse is, I see the logo, it's on a fleur-de-lis or something. I don't think it has a date, but Muses. And then the inside is stuff where you can see purple, gold, and green balls that are on the thing, and ribbon. So, wow, that's a lot of work, don't you think? Okay, remember, this is music. Folks, give us a call, 504-383-3654. Any questions you want to ask about Mardi Gras itself, the parades, anything we're showing, we'll be glad to answer. I was trying to see if I could, no, I can't bring up the comments. I should have checked when I changed. All right, this is the same one. I'm sorry. I apologize there. Look at this one, folks. I love this guy. I'm kind of partial to this one. It's got the purple and gold, but look how well those lines actually, that I don't think that could be already on the shoe. Obviously not in those colors, but they did a fabulous job of drawing those straight lines, even though they're on an angle. And I can't see what's on the base of the heel. It looks like a very small little heel. I don't know what they call that. And it looks like there's some jewels, etc. And again, the top and the bottom has Is that more jewels? But I mean, let's see, yeah, in little frame. Isn't that pretty? And then, of course, a complementary, since it's purple and gold, even though it's not the green that we normally look at, emerald green, it's a beautiful turquoise green. And I think the whole, if you look on the side of that maybe the inside is all done in green, but it's that green tulle or whatever they call that stuff, mesh. Now, here's a good version of it. This is again looking down. Look how great those lines are, and then the green on the inside. And the big M. See the big M there in the center of it? But it also has a little logo with the word Muses at the tip, very small. But how nice. Remember, these people are giving these things to you on the parade. These are things I and Len have personally caught or collected over the years from these parades. Okay, this is hard. It's a little too close. And again, Bob's not the best photographer. But let's see if we. But you can see the shoe is purple. Unfortunately, I put a purple doily in the back of these to give it contrast. Here it blends in. So that crochet stuff behind it is not part of the shoe. It's just sitting there rather than having something conflict with it. But you see it's purple and it's got some, I guess that's pearls. It looks like pearls and a lot of shoes. Look down on the bottom part of this ring that goes around the shoe are two plastic shoes. Now you're going to see with this. Besides these custom elements, the group, the crews will, as I might have said earlier, will actually do multiple mass throws that they can buy that symbolize. So you can get tons of this variation of these, like these little shoes here. You'll be in smaller versions. Will be on bracelets, on necklaces. Well, you'll see some of them. So they'll do all kind of things that aren't unique to the custom throw signature throws, but again are unique to the crew. So there we go. Let's see what else we got here. There's a better picture. Looking down on it, and I see they do have. So I thought this was all mine. She has some kind of lavender or purple mesh in the inside of the shoe, and you see the pearls are just beads. I guess they're in gold. Some of them might be in white. But there you go. And then is there an M? I can't see if there's an M or anything, but very, very pretty, huh? All right, let's keep going because it's moving along. This is a kinky. This is I guess the disco period retro. This one is so cool because this is obviously a patent leather shoe, and who knows? Maybe it came in this pink, hot pink, but I've never seen one in that shade. But it is absolutely fabulous. So even more so, if assuming that the artist or the maker had to actually paint that and keep that same sheen. But look at that heel, and isn't that cool? And then we're gonna get then there's some things stuffed in there. You see some silver things, and these are different ornamentations. And I'm trying to see if I can, my bad eyes, I can't make out what they are. And there's also something on the front. So let's go ahead and look from the upper version. But isn't that cool? And that knocks your sock off, huh? Looking down now. Here we go. So we can see now better. So first again, there's a Muses sign, a very little logo at the bottom in the center of the toe, and then there's ribbon, I guess, with beads, and it's just hard to me. A lot of other adornments. So isn't that cool? Just the color knocks your socks off. Even though it's not Mardi Gras pink, it definitely is a very great, very great look. Okay. Here's one. Look at this style again. Stiletto. I think I don't know. This is stiletto heels. I've heard that term, but I know they're supposed to be narrow like this. Look at this one. This is like multi-layered. It's got the blue crusted stuff. It's got a layer of black where the sole is, I guess, and Muses, of course, handwritten in script, and then some beautiful braiding of, I guess, little white rosettes. Is that what that is? Silver white rosettes. Let's see what the other side looks like. Oh, pay attention to the front. Before I'm giving you a clue. I don't know if you can see it here in the toe, but all in the toe. Are you ready for this? Really punk spikes. Look at this, folks. Huh? And notice the date's on the other side. See, I didn't see it, but it's looks like 2015 if my old eye sees the right number. But look at it. Those are actual metal spikes like you'd see in a punk rock or whatever else that they could do. But so you see the amount of work and creativity that goes in these things besides being unique. All right, let's go on and look at this one. This one is a plastic clear acrylic shoe, high heel shoe, adorned with, you see the I guess those are beads. They're not, I don't know if they're really jewels or synthetic plastic jewels, and then lined with a magnificent pink boa. Now, I have to admit, the things you're seeing in red, if you can see them there, are not part of the shoe. We caught those and we stuffed them in just for decoration. That's a necklace or a bracelet, and we'll see it again in a second, of red plastic shoes that you could wear. Again, to symbolize, everyone knows that's from the Muses Parade. There you go. That's a better look looking down inside, but that's just sitting in there. I did that for where we have decorated because it started complementing rather than just let the two shades of the feathers show off. I thought it needed a little more adornment, so that's my artistic ability. Yeah, right. Okay, 504-383-3654. Here's another punk one, I think, because it's like hardcore leather. Almost looks like leather. I guess it's leather and black. Now, pulling this off, I think one of the beads that you can see is draping down from the other side. You'll see it in a second. But notice it has fantastic gold beading. It also, across the top, has fleur de lis. Do you see that right across the base? Not the base, what would you call it? The arch, the top part of the shoe. And notice it's stuffed with black feathers. And you're like, wow, how much more appropriate, huh? So all black and gold, which, of course, for those who don't know, all the colors of our Saints. It might not be the Mardi Gras colors, but the Saints are the true love football team of New Orleans. So black and gold is another set of colors you'll see all over New Orleans. Here's another view. Looks very good from looking down. So notice it's not just around the perimeter that the gold beading is, also down the center and around the sides, and again the black feathers. Pretty cool, huh, folks? I think so. All right. I think I got a few more. This is a similar one. This is like a silver shoe with white boa, and then some things, again, we stuffed in there. So it's pretty basic, but just dressed. Once again, this is a combination of plastic shoes, some of them pink, some of them red, all in a necklace, etc. But look how pretty the cover of the toe of the shoe is. It's got a beautiful blue set of, and with silver adornment. Again, that looks like a brooch or something they might have added or created as opposed to being on the shoe. But it might be, ladies' shoes can be that decorative. But once again, what a great tribute, huh? Okay, now, these last few are going to be what I was talking about. Just like you saw those red plastic shoes as necklaces and bracelets, they're going to be throwing all kinds. This is not a signature throw. It's signature in that it reflects the organization, but it's not customized to be what we call a signature throw. Notice this is a plastic set of silver beads you wear around your neck, and it's a very filigree, ornate, cutout high heel. Isn't that cool? Look at the detail just cutting out. So once again, it's something that, ignoring anything is just plastic, but it's so well done. It's something to. Now here's another one. This is actually like a rubber orange platform shoe with, I assumed it came like that with the orange and black with Muses on there. Obviously they had to have that printed on there. So, but again, it's a small plastic, just a trinket, just something to show in addition to your collection. And this one is really unique, but again, small. These are small ones. This is not something, I don't believe, done by any of the crew members. This is, again, a lucite, but it's really strange. It's a small, flat, the heel is not as high, but it's filled with, I thought these were things like candy, sweet and sour things, and it might be, but it's, there you go. This is looking from the top. These are encased in plastic as well, so I don't think you could eat them, even if you could. And I think there's something on the front. Is that Muses on the front? I can't see it. A heart, it might have. Oh, it's got a big M for Muses right at the base, but there's something behind it. But how you like that? How creative and ingenious is that? Now, whether a crew member did this or not, I don't believe so, but it still does. Okay. Well, folks, that's what we have for tonight's broadcast of the signature throws of just two lady organizations, Muses and Nyx. As we said, Nyx is still parading, even though it ran into some controversy. It's much smaller than it was before, but at the same time, they will still be doing these creative throws. So we can keep adding to our collection. So we hope you like what you've seen tonight. Again, I apologize. I'm not apologize, but I'm sorry our good friend Derek Ross couldn't make it tonight. But business always has to. Your life has to circle around your business today. It's always been the case. But he'll be joining us hopefully next Thursday. And remember, next Thursday we're gonna specialize, besides other things, tell you more about more of the list of the float, the parade, especially during the week, and talk about King Arthur and show their signature throws, as well as some video clips of the last parade before the pandemic. Because our good friends were the king and the queen of King Arthur that time. So it's very impressive, very impressive. So you'll get an idea of what floats look like if you haven't seen them, how elaborate they are, usually made with decorations from paper mache, some of them animated, etc. So we hope we've been informative to you. Again, we wish we could have we got a couple of comments. We appreciate that. I wish we got some phone calls because we still would love to chat with someone, even if they just say hello, just to make sure everything's working. We test it, of course, with ourselves before we come on, but we'd love to hear from someone. So do me a favor, if you watch for us, at least next weekday, usually around 10 o'clock, we will start doing again my solo rant review show on Mardi Gras. And then next Thursday, we'll have hopefully the co-host thing with regard to King Arthur. As I mentioned before, the list that we've prepared, it's an Excel, but in a sheet format, not a spreadsheet format. But if you want it, you can contact me by email, bob@rrevue.net.com, or on any of the platforms, and give me your address and our details, and we'll send it to you. But again, there's no need getting it if you don't have access to Excel, so you can open it up and see it. Plus, we will be updating it, as we say, when we get more custom throws and stuff like that. So, because there's a lot more on the sheet, a sheet and a half, than what we went over tonight. All right. Once again, we want to thank you. It's just about closing time. Check out don't forget any of our other shows. We have tons of other things, restaurants, you name it, artists, things of all nature, your interest. We have all the archive ones, even if we don't have a current one right now, as we wait, because we're always looking for guests that will display their service. So if you know anyone that's an artist, a chef, actor, a director, author, a nonprofit, we have a special for you, know your nonprofit, send them my way. We'll be glad to work it out with. There's no charge. It's totally free. Not to be afraid. You got to pay for a whole hour infomercial, basically, about your talent, product, service, or organization. So send them my way. We would love to present them here on one of our shows. Okay, for this evening, Bob Bockelman, hoping you're going to enjoy Mardi Gras. And hopefully, I know we're still all anxious about whether we can really pull it off. I think we can. That doesn't mean it's going to be totally pandemic free, because there's just too many law of large numbers where there's going to be some things that will unfortunately spike those numbers. But as long as we get through it, the natives will feel good about themselves. And hopefully, it looks like tons of tourists are coming in again, even with the fear of the pandemic. And anytime you can write me about any question about Mardi Gras, etc., that you want, and we'll be glad to answer that as well. Okay, until next week during the day, or until next Thursday, it's Bob Bockelman signing off, thanking you very much for participating.